What's going on, everyone? So today is May 22nd. I'm in the park. It's beautiful here in Toronto. I guess we have this guy behind me playing with his dog. So a couple questions. One is that people were asking about my workflow for Genie AI, how I use it regularly. I've been using it more and more, taking more and more notes, providing this Genie AI with data. And then the other thing that I've been thinking about recently, and I had actually in the last two videos on YouTube, some people are asking about how we can have a better, more intuitive user interface for non-coders to use Genie AI. So we're going to talk about both those things, and then we will kind of go through the rest. So the first is I want to show you my workflow. So it's really not that complex. I guess I'm going to kind of show just a couple things. So one is my workflow. So right now at the moment, my workflow looks like this. So I'm going to share my screen. And really most of the time I kind of come here and I have a folder on my computer, looks like this, where these are all these projects that I use, and I'll go to C94. And then basically I just configure everything through these few files, right? So we have the user state file, the upcoming, the questions, the initiatives, kind of as I've talked about in the past. And then I have this AI.js, which I'm kind of constantly tweaking a little bit here and there, just to kind of cater to my needs. But really all that's going to do is that's going to pull in the information from Warpcast from this file. It's going to pull in the information from my YouTube channel, and then it's going to look at all of those files. So my daily file, my to-do upcoming file. I guess here I'll talk about it. So the daily file is my daily journal. I'm writing out all of my thoughts and considerations in this file. The to-do upcoming done is just a file where I have three main headers: to-do, upcoming, and done. The user state file is one that just is all of my notes about myself, so my age, where I'm located, what my interests are, places I've traveled, my skills, my jobs, anything like that. Initiatives are kind of high level initiatives that I have. So whether it's kind of getting healthy, building out Biput, creating content, anything like that. Questions are directly from the AI. And then all these changes that happen in these files eventually get logged into GitLog using our Git system. So you can see over here, you have a log of all of these different things in Git. That keeps kind of pulling in over time into this, which the AI can kind of keep track of all of our changes. And then now with these API endpoints, we have Warpcast posts coming in and YouTube videos. And so my flow is I really just kind of go to these different files when I need them, right? So for instance, my initiatives file, I will add to maybe once a day, maybe once a week, and over time it might just be kind of once every quarter. The user state, similarly, I might not post to it too much because myself, I'm not really updating that much. But in the early stages, I have to kind of write out, it's very front heavy. And then the daily and to-do upcoming done, this is kind of like my agenda. And then these are kind of my thoughts. So I'm updating these regularly. I come to these files, I open them up, I type in them. After that is all done, and I've kind of maybe finished a meeting, or I've kind of ran through a few emails, I literally just come here and I run node AI.js. And you'll see here, it's going to pull from my YouTube data, it's going to pull from my Warpcast data. There's nothing new in the kind of that I just added when I'm making this video, so there's nothing to commit right now. And you're going to see here, right? So it says checklist. So immediate action items: plan and publish a YouTube video about Biput, how Biput has benefited its users. Aim to include user testimonials and case studies. So that's something I'm working on right now. Right now, my shoulder sore. So it says finalize and test shoulder stretches, and check chest practice for tonight as per your recent requests. And confirm all important upcoming tasks, particularly the call with Will from Twilio, and I'm on call tomorrow. So I have some important calls coming up. And then current state review. You seem quite busy yet productive. You've been meeting your social media posting targets, actively engaging in fundraising activities for Biput, and working on your fitness and personal development goals. Great job maintaining your momentum. And then here, number 3, it says detailed suggestions. So Biput fundraising. Enhance your outreach strategy, compile a list of new investors, and start personalized outreach. Marketing ideas, engage in creative marketing strategies such as storytelling, content on YouTube, and blog posts highlighting successful Biput user stories. Utilize SEO tactics to drive organic traffic. Then we have content creation. It says YouTube videos, create a content calendar for YouTube videos to ensure consistent posting. Aim for content that adds value, such as how-to videos, case studies, and user testimonials. And keep up the good work on Warpcast posts. Engage with more of your followers by replying to their comments to increase engagement. Personal development. Stick to your daily chess game with ChatGPT instructor. Focus on learning new openings and practicing different position strategies. Shoulder exercises. Follow with the shoulder strategies. Shoulder stretches daily. Maintain a log to track your progress on and know any improvements or discomfort. And then here, this is the AI. So these are things saying like AI reviewing what I've done, providing me suggestions of things to do and how to do it. And then here is the AI kind of looking back on everything that I've done recently, asking me questions saying, how do you currently measure the success of your fundraising efforts for Vipod? Would you like suggestions on how to improve your tracking methods? Time management, how do you find your current daily schedule? Are there specific tasks that consume more of your time that you'd like to, or tasks consistently find yourself putting off? And then content development is, what themes are you exploring for your future YouTube videos and Warpcast posts? Knowing this will help me tailor advice and resources to support your content creation efforts. Please address these questions in your next update, and let's keep aiming high and working smart, right? So my opinion, this is a fantastic resource, right? I can lean on this. It gives me actionable things that I can do, all cater to what I've done. And it also is not harsh on me for missing time or not saying what like, basically if I tell it I want to do something and I don't do it, it's kind of okay, but it'll kind of give me a gentle nudge and it'll help me improve. Now, this is kind of my workflow. Sometimes we want things to be better than they need to be, right? Or we're looking for some silver bullet. This is really the bread and butter. If you distill everything down, this is really where you get into being a highly hyper-productive user. So I understand, though, that not everyone wants to work in Visual Studio Code or a kind of an ugly interface. And so I was talking to my brother yesterday, and we were discussing kind of ways that we might be able to improve the style and design of Warpcast. So this is kind of my first pass. These are my mockups. But you'll see here, I'm really thinking about having a very simple website. It looks like this, where it says daily. These would be kind of clicking on that daily file. You would write out your journal entries here. To do, upcoming and done, initiatives, AI questions, and about you. And these things would kind of help me stay, kind of segment all of my different information while also being ordered in the frequency of that I'd want to post at. So daily, I should be posting at this constantly. To do, upcoming and done, a little bit less. Initiatives, a little bit less. AI questions would be frequent, but you don't always have to answer to the AI, and about you would be the least frequent. So I would write out all of my information in this text box here. It would save down to my account. And then either I can ask the Genie locally here, and this either you can bring your own OpenAI key, or you can bring, or you can kind of use this platform, use the Genie platform, and we can kind of pay for it for you, and you can kind of call this back, and it can show up here. One other thing that I'd like to explore is having this as kind of the daily driver where I can input data and input text, but then using ChatGPT interface to pull in my data into the ChatGPT interface, and then being able to interact with that data right within ChatGPT. The benefit of that is that then I'm going to make use of ChatGPT Plus and all of their kind of their interface that kind of constantly gets updated. However, I can pull in my personal data through this interface, which is very convenient for me to kind of section my data and pull in my data that way. So the flow with this interface would be that I'd be adding in all of the information into these files. It's going to be saved down to an API or into a database, and then I'm going to have an API endpoint with a code for my specific data to say, hey, look, when I'm talking to my custom GPT, it's going to say, hey, your code is 1273A blah, 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 some random thing. And then I'm going to paste that in, and then it's going to be able to pull this data from my section here into that GPT. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of. I'm also keenly aware that maybe that data is personal, so you need to have some additional kind of level of maybe a password or something like that to give access to that data. So this is kind of what I'm thinking for the interface. What's also nice about this interface is that here we can pull in things like API integrations and external data. So for instance, if you're developing in ChatGPT, pulling in external information might be a little bit complex. So if we can make a nice interface saying like, hey, pull in the data from my YouTube, pull in my data from Warpcast right in this interface, then I don't have to configure on ChatGPT side all of this information. And so really I'm thinking about kind of a two-stage process. One is kind of all of my data gets configured on this web interface, and then we're going to use ChatGPT to converse with the Genie AI to kind of be my daily driver with everything I'm doing. I would love to kind of hear what you guys think. And this is kind of a work in progress. And for the time being, I'm going to stick with kind of what I'm working on here with my command line and my terminal here, or I guess my code editor here, because it's very sharp and fast. And I'm learning as I'm going here. So it's not 100% clear about what the best way is. But something like this to spin up with an API endpoint in a database really isn't too much. So if there's interest in having some style like this where you have your own personal Genie AI, which we've seen from a few people, I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to kind of get your feedback. So that ends this call. Thanks so much, and talk to you guys soon.